So, Denzel Curry has finally released his latest album, King of the Mischievous South Volume 2. Denzel Curry is one of the most celebrated hip-hop artists that have come out from the 2010s. As I think everybody knows at this point, I mean, he made his, I guess, debut fame with Ultimate, which a lot of people know it as the water bottle flip challenge song, which wow, that was an era. I feel old, but of course he later on kind of built on his discography and just wasn't known as that song. He wasn't like a one hit wonder. He of course built his discography, dropped more songs, dropped pretty great projects like Imperial, Taboo, Unlocked, Melt My Eyes, See Your Future, which came out 2 years ago, and a lot of people still love it till this day. I love it till this day as well. Yeah, just the point is that he basically just kind of like kept on growing and growing as an artist, and he didn't let, like, I guess that hit kind of define the entire thing. And I think at the time he was kind of in the SoundCloud era, and he was also linked with the same group that Ski Mask and XX and Tentacion were part of. So yeah, that huge transition from that to becoming to much more, I guess, mature artists, and I guess trying to make concept records like Taboo and My Eyes See Your Future is a huge, like, just transition. I don't think people have managed to appreciate or recognize even till this day. But My Eyes See Your Future was such a refreshing take from Denzel. He was kind of in his bag writing the entire record, focusing more on, I guess, flexing his writing skills in here as we hear more jazz hop and jazz failed instrumentals and production across the entire record, which occasional kind of like sort of trap songs in that album, but obviously it doesn't like dominate the entire record as it did like on Zoo or on Taboo, which are essentially much more trap focused and heavy on it because they represent more of the South Side elements, especially Zoo, which Zoo was basically like, I guess, made to commemorate where Denzel was in his origins and stuff like that. But anyway, Melt My Eyes See Your Future again was like such a refreshing take on Denzel. He's very energized. He's delivered a concept album that really explored mental health in a very interesting and very enlightening way. Just kind of like the core message of that album was like to keep on going, keep on walking, keep on progressing, despite just the roadblocks you encounter in life. This, I guess, his mindset was basically just like keep on grinding, keep on marching forth. I've gone through a lot of things. I've gone through hell and back, but I'm keeping my mental straight. This is me kind of recovering, which I just found to be a great way, a great concept, and he could, again, delivered it in a very just in an amazing way. Honestly, it really did. But fast forward now, or I guess even like last year, he was releasing singles that are much more like southern trap focused. And a lot of people were a bit mixed on it because they, I guess, wanted Denzel to go a bit more lyrical, hip-hop type. And to be honest, I really didn't care that much because, if anything, I was introduced to Denzel's music into the more southern trap, or just a trap area, if anything, with, again, Ultimate and just Taboo, which Taboo was a concept album, of course, but it's a very trap-focused album, which is very gritty, very dark, very robust, and very like just screamy, or just like super like in your face type of vibe. Like it was just obviously like in your face. There was a lot of screaming involved, and just a super metal and just dark album in general. So I didn't really mind that much. I wasn't super impressed, I won't lie, by the singles 2023. But fast forward now in 2024, I really thought that all the singles that dropped for this album were just very impressive. Hot Ones, featuring ASAP Ferg, and I think was it Tisa? I forgot the feature name. I'm sorry if I forgot the name, but featuring her, they did pretty well on the track. It's a simple, just bop overall. It's nothing to really like over focus. It was a simple bop. It wasn't anything. Simple bop, simple banger. You don't have to really overthink of it. It's just kind of Denzel in his bag, rapping, kind of flexing, just flexing on you, saying I can make so much money and this and that. And again, I didn't really think that much of the song. I just found it to be a fun banger and bop, as I was saying. And then he kept on dropping other singles like Black Flag Freestyle, which features the Mexican OT. I hopefully said I've said his name right. I'm sorry if I messed up the names. And I thought just like his performance on the track was just amazing. I mean, I think from both ends, honestly. I found it to be a bit more catchier than Hot Ones, ironically. And I think they just had more bars in general. Denzel was much more focused and delivered a much more, I guess, sharper verse, if anything. But Mexican OT's flow was like in another level. I've seen him rap before in freestyle and like radio stations and a bunch of viral clips. But just in that song, he flowed his ass so hard, so like wow, it was incredible, to the point that I think that he might have like out rapped Denzel in that song. It might be unpopular opinion or not, but I felt that his confidence kind of made it seem like he kind of out-rapped Denzel. But Denzel did amazing still on that song. And I think as a final single, he dropped HOODLUMZ featuring A$AP Rocky and Play That Boy Zay. And genuinely, I thought that that song, despite it being very short, was just like a wave of adrenaline that just like was in your face, especially A$AP Rocky's verse at the end. Which, man, if he comes in with that energy for that album that he has planned in August, hopefully comes out in August and then this year in general, it's gonna be another great addition to his discography and could be like his second best easily. I've just been hearing Rocky very hungry and all the features he's done recently, and it's impressive. He still has it even after these years. But going to this album, I didn't really have like super major expectations. I just kind of thought it would be like a fun southern trap mixtape influence type of vibe. I kind of got huge 3 6 Mafia vibes, Lil Ugly Mane too, and just southern, just hip hop and trap in general. It's obviously paying homage to it with all the songs that just dropped. And wow, this mixtape or this album, it's definitely an album. It just feels like a mixtape, especially at its runtime and just how it, I guess, goes on as it progresses and stuff. I was really surprised by how it went through. Curry just has so much fun during this entire record, and you can tell he's not trying to take anything too seriously. It's just lighthearted fun that he's having with all the features and the guests in here, which is a stacked feature list, by the way. He had Maxo Cream on the third song, which was wow. I mean, I really like Maxo Cream when it comes to some of his songs. I'm not like a huge fan of his discography, but whenever I hear a feature verse from him or just a song with another artist, he just delivers a crazy feature verse or a crazy like flow. And you can tell that him and Denzel were just they knew what they were doing on that song because the flow is amazing. The beat is hard and crisp. I think it was produced by I Felt Like Dying. I think I said the tagline and not the producer's name, but you know what I'm trying to say. And I get it. Hopefully it is that beat that I'm referring to. But they were just going at it on such a hard southern trap beat that it just blew my mind. Like I think Denzel in his entire album was flexing more how he can flow throughout the just album and songs in general. Then of course he does focus on bars. I mean, there's bars during this entire album, don't get me wrong, but it's not really like a concept driven record. You can kind of play this thing without any order and nothing really happens. And that's kind of my critique for this album. Not that it's like, I'm not critiquing it for not being conceptual. It's mainly that the interludes that this album has, I mean, it kind of like starts off with an intro that's more of an interlude. And there's a bunch of interludes just spread around this entire record. There's like 4 or 5 in totality. And there's even like 2 that kind of sandwich one song that was actually like very good. And I just thought it was kind of annoying. It was really annoying at how it was sequenced. But yeah, I just think that the interludes in this album kind of don't really serve any purpose. Maybe it was him trying to give it more of a southern flair, just trying to give it more personality, because typically interludes do that. Skits in general, I mean, take for example Kanye West, which the graduation trilogy, the trilogy of the registration, dropout, graduation is obviously conceptual. But those skits kind of had a purpose in the album, which as in here, it just feels like a bunch of 30 seconds of just nothingness. And even if it's trying to like transition to your song, it feels unnecessary. I don't think it needed that transition of anything. And I was a bit disappointed because I kind of wanted those songs to just be something more. There's one song called Lunatic, which is an interlude, which is this like funk type beat. And it could have been such a hard Denzel Curry song. It could have been like one of the best songs in this project. But they just kind of write it off as an interlude and they don't do really anything with it, which really just upset me internally. I guess another con that I have with this album before I kind of start getting to the list of pros, it's that I wish it was longer. I mean, this is a 34-minute album. It's 15 tracks, 4 or 5, as I said, are basically just interludes. And it just, again, a couple of missed opportunities here and there that I kind of wish were just growing on. Were kind of, extended a bit more. But yeah, I just think that it was kind of a wasted opportunity to just like make this either album either longer with actual songs or just make the interludes into songs. Just not even make them interludes, if anything. If not, maybe like 1 or 2 interludes if you want. But 5 is kind of crazy. I think the song Ultra Shit with K Nieta, hopefully I said it correctly, is such a great piece. It reminded me so much of Black Cray, with that one album of like, well, that one album where he's wearing like an Iron Maiden shirt. It reminded me of the intro of that album. It's like hazy, clout rap type. It's I don't know. It reminded me a lot of it. I mean, obviously even that album was inspired by a bunch of Southern cloud rap and stuff, and 3 6 Mafia and a bunch of the other pioneers, of course. But I don't know. I just thought UGK, of course. This album was very inspired by the UGK sound. It's very like this loud and in your face, like 3 6 Mafia and UGK. But I think that song in particular is giving me like a lot of Black Cray vibes. It's a very nice, enjoyable song. It's hard hitting, but at the same time, kind of smooth in its delivery. Denzel has like this filter where he sounds like he's talking through like a radio station, but it kind of gives it again that flair that a song like a Black Cray song would have, where it's not like, you know, insanely annoying, but it kind of gives it like a bit more personality. The track G's Up with 2 Chainz and Mike Dimes, kind of, it could seem very generic and a bit like just too simplistic for the average listener, but once you kind of give it a spin, the complete spin, or just like listen to it a couple of times, it really just sticks with you. Yes, the chorus, the G's up, G's up, G's up is a bit basic, but I think 2 Chainz and Mike Dimes just deliver such great performances. I think Denzel overall in this entire record also delivers a great performance, even though he sometimes gets overshadowed by the features because he wants to obviously give the room. But I think Mike Dimes in his song was also amazing. He delivered a killer verse, and I think Denzel just knew what he was doing by giving them kind of breathe on the song and just let them do whatever, just let them do their own thing. Miles Morales reference. The track Skid with Kenny Mason and Project Pat, which I believe was released a year ago or 2 years ago. I know this is a collaboration with Kenny Mason initially, but in this in the album version, Project Pat is included, and I'm so glad he's included. He has a spectacular performance, and Kenny Mason on this song kind of sounds more like JID, if anything. I've listened to Kenny Mason years ago with the Hood Rat, Spectacular Hood Rat 2, I think. Hopefully I got it right. I don't know, it was like Hood Rat something. And it was a very good album. And the thing is, like, I love just Kenny's just like playful flow in general. And also like his part on Stick with JID, which I know I'm making the JID comparison. But you can just tell he was like super energetic. But in this song, he's really in his bag with his flow. If he was much more refined, he's kind of tuning back the punk aesthetic that he usually carries around him. And he's just in his bag. Again, kind of like reminding me of how JID would flow on a feature, as if he were to be in a feature on a song. The track WISHLIST featuring Armani White kind of reminded me of that too. It's really nice seeing Armani White kind of listed in this album. He did have that one song with Denzel Curry, which I think was GOAT. I think it was a GOAT, which was all over TikTok, and it was one of my favorite songs during the year. I think it was last year or the year before that. I don't know, but it was a great song. The thing is, I just think the performance in general. I know I'm probably, if I'm saying performance and just delivery all the time, but it's mainly because that's like the best thing this album offers. Of course, there's some quirky one-liners. I think it was in WISHLIST where he does this very like funny Alexa line where he says, "Turning on like Alexa," and there's like an Alexa sound effect, which is kind of funny. Which I think, Denzel says that line. And there's some again quirky like funny one-liners here and there they can probably spot. But again, most of the time it's just performance of flow that just becomes the best thing that this record has. And of course the production here is solid. It is hard. It's hard hitting beats, trap beats, that, man, like I was listening to this album in the car, and also I was working out in speakers. Jesus Christ, man, this album was very well mixed in general. Also on AirPods, it sounds amazing. I'm a bit 50-50 with Hit the Floor featuring Ski Mask. Look, I think Ski Mask can deliver some very enjoyable stuff, but that hook and chorus that's like kind of whispery, like it's just kind of, for me, it's a bit too whispery, and it's just kind of ruins the whole flow and the atmosphere of the song. And sure, Ski Mask delivers this very quick and aggressive and charismatic verse and playful, mannerisms that he usually has on a song. but I just don't think it's enough to save it. The beat is hard. Like those 808s are insanely distorted. Like if XXXTentacion were to be alive still, he would have been a perfect fit for this song. But I think the chorus and hook really tones it down too much, and it kind of like just pulls it back from being a bigger banger than what it could have been. I think the most surprising song, if anything, is called Pimp featuring Ty Dolla $ign and Juicy J. Like that song was like surprisingly smooth. It has this very nice like violins or strings playing in the background, and his hard southern trap drums, which it reminds me a lot of a specific 3 6 Mafia song from that one album cover that looks like a like a freaking demonic thing. I don't know if it's their debut or one of the Mystic Styles. Was it Mystic Styles? Is it Mystic Styles? I'm not entirely sure. But it's one of them where it kind of has like this chill vibe, yet these aggressive drums in the mix that kind of feel like much more like they're kind of telling a story. They kind of like a story about like this romance, but obviously making it more raunchy. Cold Pimp is basically that. It's just basically Denzel admitting it's kind of going on more of a pimp type of flair with Ty Dolla $ign and Juicy J. And I think Juicy J was a perfect fit for this song because, again, he obviously was one of the pioneers for this southern trap genre and hip hop genre. But just on this song, he just floats on this song. It's just like he floats effortlessly on this song, and them all kind of delivering like this kind of raunchy, romantic track. But at the same time, if you look at the lyrics, it just feels like very aggressive at the same time. It's funny, and it's a song that you can definitely just like listen to over and over on the whip. It really is. Overall, this album doesn't normally have to like overthink anything. Denzel is having fun in this album. He's, again, as I said a billion times throughout this video, and I'm sorry if it annoys a lot of people, but I just think just the way that this guy just has a unique flow, the way he, I guess, tries to like not take himself too seriously, kind of have fun with the features here and there. It's just so refreshing because as much as I would love Denzel to drop another conceptual record or the R&B album that he, I think he said in the Fantano interview and some other interview that he had kind of planned, I think it's cool to take these occasional breaks the same way that he did with Taboo and Zoo. That kind of 180 where a lot of people are kind of disappointed because Zoo wasn't as conceptually, I guess, gratifying as Taboo. I kind of disagree. I think Zoo was a fun little album. It's not supposed to be taken that seriously. It was like fun bops and still some of the best songs that he's made. I think Ricky, without a doubt, is one of the best songs he's made in his discography. Was it Ricky or Rick? One of the songs. But yeah, I think this is gonna be the same thing with this album. If anything, it's probably better than Zoo. It feels refined. It feels charismatic, playful. Sure, I will say that the length is kind of disappointing. Wish it was a bit more content. And it had some spots where it was a bit of a missed opportunity here and there. But overall, it's a great and enjoyable experience. It has a lot of replay value. It's easy to listen to. It's very accessible. And it just has songs that I can just see myself listening to over and over and over throughout the entire year and having fun with it, really. It's just an album, again, that you just kind of have fun with it. Just don't overthink anything. So yeah, what would I rate this album? Probably going with an 8 out of 10. Again, it's a great album. Denzel hasn't missed, really, with any of these albums. Maybe the Unlocked version 2, which is really a remix album technically, so I don't know if I really want to count it. But overall, this man has, even with his most minuscule projects like Unlocked, it's been great. It's been great, and if this guy keeps it up a few more years, he will have probably a top 10 most consistent discography in the hip-hop genre. Like, unironically, this guy has been in a freaking role, basically. But yeah, what do you guys think of this album? Should you guys love it? Should you guys hate it? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and turn the notification bell on so you don't miss an upload from me. And yeah, see you guys later. Peace out.